Hello, and welcome to Voices in Education. I am your host, Natasha Lee. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to another live conversation. And yes, we're going to talk about Shericka Jackson. And so Shericka shares about, Eugene seeking support and Yendi Phillips. And so we want to just talk about that and also some life lessons, lessons from Shericka that we can, take away from this conversation and perhaps apply to our lives. All right. Welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome to another live conversation. And I am seeing trending sports and entertainment. Welcome. Namara, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Namara is saying, I'm so on. Welcome. I guess our board sprinter and rapper best wishes. Okay. And trending sports, I Namara. And trending sports is saying like and share. Wonderful trending sports. Namara is saying already done. Jordan, welcome, welcome, Jordan. How are you doing? All right. So we want to have this conversation and just, some lessons we can take away in terms of, applying to our lives. And, Shericka, spoke and in the context of Yendi, and sometimes too how, words and what you say to people, how that can affect, persons when they're down, and at their perhaps lowest point. So lots to take away from this conversation. And as always, I would love to hear from you. So don't be afraid to share in the chat and do not be afraid to call that WhatsApp number that you see on screen. Namara, for sure. I believe we're going to hear from you in this one. We're hoping to hear from you. All right. So for sure, would love to hear what is happening. Dolly Classroom, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're new to this space, this is a safe space where we can share and learn from each other. We understand that we have different perspectives, opinions, views, or even wonders based on our experiences or, knowledge. And so with that, comes diversity because each of us, you are unique. And so that uniqueness contributes to diversity. And with diversity, there is so much richness that allows us to share and learn from each other. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button. And if you're new to this space, welcome again and hit that subscription button as well. And share, share, share so that we can have some more persons, coming over and joining in this conversation. Help out a community member or two who may not have their post notification turned on. And so, yes, and who perhaps would like to be here, in this part, in this conversation. All right, so please like and share. So perhaps let us go to the first, audio clip that I have here. All right, and this is pretty much after Shericka's run in Brussels, and perhaps we can start here. So Shericka had quite a few things to say, and we just have a little part of the recording here, and we're going to just start there. But I realize that persons are coming in, so I'm just going to perhaps wait a few more seconds, but for sure would love to just hear, what Shericka had to say in the context of Brussels and Eugene, and also from Yendi Phillips. So welcome if you're just tuning in, welcome to this conversation. It's a live conversation and I would love to hear from you. You can participate by calling the WhatsApp number that you see on screen. You can also share in the chat, but just know that, we would love to hear your voice, all right? So for sure, we want to hear from you. All right, so I'm just going to go to the clip and to get us started, and we'll just take it from there. So again, we're just facilitating a conversation and, see what Shericka is saying in the context of Eugene, and also some life lessons. I guess perhaps will come a bit later in this talk, but for sure, lots that we can learn from Shericka. All right, so let's go to Shericka.
So today we are here in Brussels. We just finished running the 200. I ran 21:48, and I'm happy. I ran close to my personal best, and that was like probably, I've been so consistent, so I'm happy. I'm glad we are going home. We're going back to Jamaica, and we're going to eat a little bit, and then we head to Eugene. Can't really eat too much because we have goals that we don't meet yet. So, as I said, we're going back to Jamaica for probably 2 days, and then we head to Eugene for the Diamond League final. Let me all tell you, I just won 21:48, and I said yesterday in the press conference, if I don't get the record, I won't feel any way. I have 2 shots this year, and 1 is already gone. That's today. I have another shot in Eugene. I believe in myself. I believe in what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, if it comes, it comes. If it don't come, then cool, just take a little break and then we prepare for next year. But as I said, it's just a focus on this year. If I get the world record in Eugene, then it's a plus. But I won't kill myself. I'm here. I'm enjoying myself.
All right, so Shericka there, sharing. So just some, highlights from, Shericka there, not the entire recording, just some highlights there. And so far, Shericka is saying, as I mentioned in the press conference before the race there in Brussels, if I did not get the record, which she did not, she's going to, try again in Eugene. And so Eugene is coming up, and Shericka still, has that intention in the context of going for the record. But she says, she's enjoying what she's doing. She's, still running good, almost, very close again to her personal best. And so in that context, what are your views on Shericka as she prepares for Eugene? What are your views in that context? Do you believe that, she's going to get the record there in Eugene, given, that history there, the track history in Eugene? What are your views on Shericka's statement? So what Shericka is saying, okay, leaving Brussels, I'm going to stop in Jamaica and then go to Eugene. What are your views on Shericka? So I guess let us start there. And I'm looking in the chat, and Namara is saying, I mean Shericka Jackson, sprinter and rapper. Okay, Namara, if you'd like to call, would love to hear from you. And Jordan, Dolly Classroom, Trending Sports and Entertainment, if you'd like to phone in, would definitely, like to hear from you. What is your take on, Shericka there, and, in the context of Eugene? So we can definitely start there. So I'm just looking in the chat. The chat is quiet. Let me just see. Let me just check my phone here. And yes, it looks good. So again, you can definitely call the WhatsApp number that you see on screen. Would love to hear from you. Let us go back to Shericka. just in case you missed that. So let's hear Shericka again in this one.
So today we are here in Brussels. We just finished running the 200, around 21:48, and I'm happy. I ran close to my personal best, and that was like probably, I've been so consistent, you know, so I'm happy. I'm glad we are going home. We're going back to Jamaica, and we're going to eat a little bit, and then we head to Eugene. Can't really eat too much because we have goals that we don't meet yet, so as I said, we're going back to Jamaica for probably 2 days, and then we head to Eugene for the Diamond League final. Let me all tell you, I just won 21:48, and I said yesterday in the press conference, if I don't get the record, I won't feel any way. I have 2 shots this year, and one is already gone, that's today. I have another shot in Eugene. I believe in myself, I believe in what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, if it comes, it comes. If it don't come, then cool, just take a little break and then we prepare for next year. But as I said, it's just a focus on this year. If I get the world record in Eugene, then it's a plus. But I won't kill myself. I'm here. I'm enjoying myself.
All right, so that was Shericka Jackson there sharing about, what happened in Brussels in terms of her time and, stopping in Jamaica before heading to Eugene. And so for sure, would love to hear from you. And perhaps I'll just go to the other context. So if it is that you'd like to share on, other aspects in this live, you can do that as well. So
today we are,
let us listen to this recording here.
I think the only time the media affected me was 2020. And I'm not going to no lie, to come back out there in that 4x1 after the 200 was really hard. It took mental strength. The media killed me, them licked me on my back, everything. I'm not going to lie, I had to go to therapy just to recover from the 200, not being able to make it. I was out there, I was smiling because yes, but I wanted my team to get medals and stuff, so therefore I had to come out. I'm not going to be selfish and like, oh, because I dropped out in the 200, I'm not going to come and run the 4x1 or I leg out the 4x4. But I think the 4x1 was priority. They never had anybody to run the heat, so maybe God did his job and I never made it, because what if I had made it, then there's a possibility no 4x1 wouldn't run. So for me, I think it took a toll on me mentally. That I had to remember that for me personally, they wanted me to run and I had to show up. I'm not going to be selfish. I could have been selfish and like, coach, hey, and not done this championship. But I'm like, no, it's part of the game. You have to learn from your mistake. Too bad I had to learn at the Olympic Games. But as I said, I came out and I'm not going to lie, a little tears up my eye when I went in the bathroom the night. Whenever one cried to stadium, because everybody was like, are you okay? Yes, I was okay. Deep down, I was hurting.
All right, so Shericka, they're sharing some, additional information in the context of what happened, in her mishap there in the 200 meters. And so she brought to this context, the importance of mental wellness and just being okay. And also, for athletes, sometimes we do not consider what they're going through, mentally, not just physically. And so that is an important aspect. And again, I would love to hear from you. I still have, I guess, 2 more pieces of recording to share, but I would love to perhaps, have someone share in this conversation, and you should be seeing the number on screen right now. And so would love to hear from you. And also, if you want to, phone in, share what is your expectations in the context of Shericka going to Eugene, what is your, what are your views, and athletes in the context of, mental wellness and, the importance of that. And also the media. What role should the media play in this context in terms of how, athletes are being portrayed? What would you like to see? What are your views? Would definitely love to hear from you. So Dolly Classroom sharing there in the chat. My opinion, I think she needs somebody to push her to get that record in terms of speed. Somebody at her level, 2140-ish. All right, Dolly, thanks for sharing. And that for sure was, one of the perspectives put forward, while we were talking that, she needs that push. I'm not sure who is there right now in the 2140, not that I can think of right now. So, but for sure, just having some competition there, even to push her to, I guess, run, faster to get off that curve. So perhaps that, but for sure, we definitely spoke about that. But right now we're seeing, it's just Shericka and the clock. And so that definitely, I believe too, Dolly, would help, and perhaps a little bit of wind, positive wind, legal wind for sure, would perhaps, aid that, record, aid Shericka breaking that record for sure. All right, so thanks for sharing, Dolly. And if you'd like to call, you can definitely call the WhatsApp number that you see on screen. All right, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Voices in Education. I would definitely love to hear from you. So don't be afraid to share in the chat, and even better, call the WhatsApp number that you see on screen. All right. Please just close the chat briefly, give this video a like, and also hit that subscription button if this is your first time here. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, don't be afraid to call, don't be afraid to share. So again, Shericka is sharing about Eugene, and she's saying, it's okay if I do not get the record this season. I'll just, take a break and I guess prepare, come back for next season. But right now, the plan or the intention is still to go and get that record. From listening to Shericka sharing in that conversation, Shericka was pretty much saying at this point, she's not sure if she's going to do the double in Eugene, the 100 and the 200. She would like to do that. But, as we know, based on Shericka's, comments, it is safe to assume that the intention is clear in terms of trying to go for the record. From her comments there as well, she was saying that the 200 and the 100, perhaps they're not on the same day, so she'll get a little time. So it's still a possibility that she will run both, and I guess the decision is not yet taken, but it's a possibility. I guess a strong possibility, but as you know, the intention is clear for Shericka in terms of trying to get the record. All right, so that is something. The schedule is not yet available. The timetable, I checked, not seeing one. So as soon as I get that update in terms of times, and we'll definitely post on the community tab. So ensure that your post notification is turned on so that you do not miss any updates. All right, so Shericka is pretty much in a very good place. She sounds happy and ready to go. And of course, she still has that record in mind in terms of trying to go for it in Eugene. Again, Eugene is another fast track. That's, based on my understanding and what I've read. Eugene is a fast track as well. And so we're expecting, I guess, to see some records, perhaps not just Shericka, but, others, but we'll see. And Shericka is planning on, going there too to try and get that, 200 record there. So the record is 21.34. Shericka's PB is 21.41. All right, so very close, and she's knocking. And in Brussels, she did 21.48. All right, so Shericka is very close, I would say, and knocking with the hope of getting this record. And Dolly is saying, don't worry, fast Elaine is coming. And yes, Dolly, Elaine, I love to see, right now what is happening with Elaine. And of course, I'm not sure if Shelly is going to continue with the 200, but that would be good. Would love to see her again there for sure. So definitely. So we'll see. And that's another big question too with Elaine going to the Olympic Games. Perhaps, some persons are saying, obviously Shericka has this one, the 200 is her baby, and perhaps Elaine might not be able to get the gold medal in the 200 at the Olympic Games. And so Elaine might, I guess, stand a better chance at regaining the gold medal from the 100. So that's another perspective there. What are your views on that? Would definitely love to hear from you in that regard too. Will Elaine, go back to the Olympic Games doing, the 100, the 200, and I guess the 4x100, but let's just focus 100 and 200. Will it be 3 in a row for Elaine? Or do you believe, the possibility is that, at her best, she can get the 100 and Shericka perhaps will deny her the 200. So would love to hear from you. And the phone line is open. Don't be afraid to call in. All right, don't be afraid to call in and share. Would love to hear from you. All right, so I am hoping to get a call and, just call and talk and let us talk. Just checking the chat here. All right, not seeing any new comments just yet. So welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome to this conversation. We're talking about, Shericka. And so far, what Shericka has shared about, Eugene and the record, the 200-meter record. So Shericka is going to Eugene, still not sure based on, what she said in the interview there, if she's going to do the double just yet, but, she'll definitely, I guess, consider with her coach and her team if they're going to take that decision. But the 200 meters record is still, in Shericka's mind, or let's say she has the intention of, going for the record in Eugene as well. All right, so Shericka is pretty much there. All right, I'm just going to go to the other recordings and let us try and, open this conversation,
So today we are, I think,
all right, so this is Shericka talking about, this is after Brussels, and this is where Yendi Phillips comes in. So let's listen to Shericka here.
I went on Yendi's show, and I remember, I don't want to quote her wrong, and I remember when I was talking about it, and I almost had a little meltdown. I had to catch myself, because You will see, if you see me cry, must be hurting. I'm this girl, I will lock in my room and I cry, my eyes swell and I put on my hat and I'm at training the other day. But I think I remember she saying, like when I was talking and I was like, I'm really hurting, and she said, you know you're going to do it though. And I was like, those are the words I needed at the moment from some of my friends that I had, which I didn't get. But it took somebody, call it a complete stranger, because I've known Yendi, but I've never met her in person. And I think I've always posted that video. Every time I run a 200, I remember her exact words to me. As I said, I think Yendi had spoken to me and she didn't even know. Couple days, I think it was sometime in this year, I sent her a text on Instagram and I said, I thank you so much. She probably didn't know how much her words meant to me at the moment, but when I was driving home and I was in there and I was like, man, oh my, I needed to hear this, and I hear it from a complete stranger instead of persons that were in my corner. Honestly, I think I cut some of those circles off, because some of them, firstly, some of my friends who I dear to my heart text me and like, oh, what foolishness you just do. Oh my God. Like, come on, you know. And I tell people that be careful of what you say to people, because in that given moment I was broken. But big up Yendi. You see me right here and I must say thank you. I always thank her. Sometimes when I watch the video, I post it on my Instagram, I watch the video, I put it on my story. And I did text her privately and I told her thank you and I appreciate what she had said to me, because trust me, right now it stick to my heart there. Every time I got in line, I remember what Yendi said to me.
All right, wonderful. That's Shericka there. I'm just going to pause sharing so I can correct the date on the slide. Definitely not 2021 there. So let me just do that correction for you so that you have the correct date. Not sure how I got a 1 there, but you know, I'm just working on, you know, correcting that information right now. We know Brussels just happened the other day. It was Yendi's clip that I'm going to play shortly that was in 2021. All right, so my apologies there, and I'm going to put that, you know, back on screen for you so that you can see with the correct information. All right, so my apologies there. So Shericka was just speaking about, you know, what happened there in the context of, you know, the mishap with the 200. I think she was in the semifinals and, you know, not being able to move forward in the finals at the Olympic Games. And so she's pretty much sharing the impact, you know, that had on her, and, you know, how persons, you know, were pretty much reaching out saying, what kind of foolishness you just do? And, you know, what she's saying is that Yendi, pretty much a stranger to her, you know, was able to tell her the right words, what she needed to hear, right? And I guess she spoke about it and you could understand the impact, the negative impact that, you know, that mishap has had on her. She said, you know, I had to go and seek help, you know, that was definitely important for her in the context of, you know, her mental, you know, health and well-being. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to a clipping from Yendi and what Yendi said to Shericka, because that is important too in terms of understanding, you know, Shericka and what Shericka is saying, that, you know, every time I go to the line, I remember what Yendi said to me. You know, you gotta do it, you know. So she remembers that, and that to her is, you know, like a motivating factor, because the people who she was expecting to be there for her in this context in terms of support and understanding that, this is something that I love. The 200 is my baby. This happened to me. And what Shericka is saying, it's a lesson. Perhaps it was supposed to happen. It's not a mistake. And, she had to learn from that. It was a big, big learning moment for her. And it was tough, right? And we see, so I'm happy in a sense where, we're getting a better understanding from our athletes, what they go through, because we're human. And sometimes we see, pictures on social media, and we believe that persons are not feeling, they're not, experience what would call life, real life, tough life. And we heard from Elaine the other day when she did not qualify for an individual event from the Jamaica trials, she said, she cried for 2 weeks. And so it's life for them, there's so much that goes into what they do in terms of preparing to go to these big, what I'll call stage. And can you imagine, going to that big stage and just not being able to perform, because it's all about the day and what you're going to do on the day. I can recall Rurian saying to me that track and field it's a very ungrateful sport. And if you're listening, please just, call and share, Rurian. We'd love to hear from you. And so in that context, you might just show up and, it's a false start. Like nobody wants that, or what happened in Shericka's case. And so in the context of support, it's also good to have, your counselors, there to help you, to support you. You're right. So it's not just about physical preparation, but it's also, mental preparation. And Shericka is pretty much, sharing some valuable lessons with us. But before we get there, let us go to the conversation that, Shericka had with Yendi. So just a clip from that conversation. So let's go to that conversation here.
Because when I was walking around from the car room to the warm up area, I was like, boy, Jackson, what happened? I was talking to myself as if somebody was there with me.
Right.
I was talking, I was answering, I was talking, I was answering. I was like, okay, then this is not a mistake. It's supposed to happen. It's just sad that it happened at the Olympic, because I wanted to run the 200,
and everybody's expectation was so high.
I wanted to run the 200 so bad. I was like, man, I am better at 200. I wanted to run the 200. I want to show up. I wanted a medal in the 200, because I wanted all medals going home.
I mean,
but
honey, yeah.
Honestly, it was difficult for me. It was, I never wanted to eat. And I was like, at the time, I had Candice in my room as a roommate, and she never started to compete, and I never wanted her to see me cry. So, I went in the bathroom and I started praying. I just burst out and started crying. I was like, man, and I was like, God, this is you. I know this is you, and I just have to accept it. I am not finished with the championship yet, so I just have to move on. It was, honestly, when I showed up in the 4x1 heats, I was like, man, I am back out there. I am so disappointed. I don't know how to deal with how I'm feeling. So coming back out there, I was like, okay then. I want my teammates to get a medal. I want them to make the final. So guess what? And I was like, snap out of it,
Yeah.
But honestly, when running that 4x1, all I was thinking about, this should have been the 200. This should,
Oh, Shericka.
Oh, Lord.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's still painful.
Very.
That one is your baby. But say you're going to do it though. I wonder if you know that.
All right, so it's so hard to listen to that, but it's life. And kudos to Shericka for, just understanding that she needed help and, reaching out for help. And to Yendi too for just being there in that moment and, giving to her those, powerful words that to this day Shericka takes to the line with her once she gets there, Yendi voice, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, and we're seeing that. So and sometimes, we need people to speak, into our lives, and that is important. That is important. And so sometimes when we see athletes not performing the way that we expect them to perform, are we trying to understand, the performance or the lack thereof, from their perspective, or from, facts in terms of what is happening. And again, I always say athletes do not go to the line to not win, even if they believe that a competitor might be, stronger. They are still there, with a fighting chance and wanting the best for themselves. So, in that moment, it is important. So lots to take away here from Shericka in terms of bouncing back, and in terms of, dealing with our issues, and in terms of understanding too that sometimes we have some persons who we are expecting, to be there for us, but sometimes they do not necessarily, see things the way you're expecting them to see it, and, not able to provide you with the support, and for her, that 200 mishap there, at the Olympic Games was, a big hit, it was a big hit. And, she shared that, I went out there, pretty much she's saying, I went out there, to run the 4x1. And, I was just there thinking about the 200, this should be the 200. And, it's just that impact that these things can have on athletes. But again, Shericka, we're so proud of you in the context of just, bouncing back from these challenges. And, look at you now. Look at you now, going to get that record. So we really, see you. We appreciate you for what you're doing, not just on the track, but also the lessons that we can take away from what you do on the track and what you experience on the track. And, just saying, in life, there are going to be failures. If you have not, if you have never failed at anything in life, let me know in the chat. If you have never made a mistake, let me know in the chat. But, mistakes are learning opportunities. Sometimes we don't know everything, and we don't know, right? And so that is why too, we have this space here where we can share and learn from each other. And so that is why I want to hear your voice. I want you to call. I want you to share, I would love to hear from you. We want to hear from each other so that we can continue to grow. We can continue to expand, stronger. Oftentimes we see, social media being used for, lots of things, perhaps not, so positive, but we can share in a way, and it doesn't matter if we have, varying opinions. We can share in a respectful way, in the space that we are maintaining as a safe one, where we get to learn from each other, right? We get to learn from each other. I'm just looking in the chat. There's a comment here. So Namara is saying, yes, Dolly Classroom, tell us who can push her. Maybe Shericka Jackson needs to rest and settle. She has run many races, both 100 and 200, I guess, most or in the Diamond League in 2 weeks. I guess leaving from Budapest and then Zurich, Brussels, and Eugene. Yes, and that too, we heard that too, and I know Justin shared that, in the context of the body, and he was, describing and explaining to us, that, kind of recycle process and pretty much what the body, has to go through to get ready, for it to peak again. But she's still doing pretty close. So let me just take this caller. Hello, caller, you're live.
Hello, Natalie. How are you doing?
I'm good, Rurian. How are you?
I'm good. Just checking in. Interesting stories that you're sharing here from Shericka. It's good to get her from not just the athlete side, but from a personal side where she's human and she's expressing her feelings. And it's good that she got a chance to get this out there, and she was confident enough to share this as well, because not everyone would be strong enough to share it and would want this to be in the public domain. So kudos to her in that regard. And, when things happen, you just learn your lesson and move on.
Yeah, like I appreciate that too, in the context where she comes and she shared on Yendi. So if you haven't watched that, you can go and watch that episode from Yendi Phillips, their Odyssey with Yendi. And so she shared about that and other stuff there. And it's so important too, in the context of people just seeing you and just understanding that you're human. And I'm seeing Natalia Freeman, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Natalia is saying, mankind can never be equal to God. We fail, God doesn't. And yeah, we make mistakes. And that is I don't know. If you have not made a mistake, let me know in the chat. All right. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, remember to like and also hit that subscription button if this is your first time here. So Ruren, what are your views in the context of Shericka, mental wellness, and what lessons can you take away that you can apply to your life?
Well, mental health is so important, and I'm happy that she got that help, because when these mishaps happen and we are spectators, we often just share things from our point of view, and we don't necessarily think about how the athletes are feeling. Just imagine if she ran a race, didn't do well, and we are feeling so bad. Then you imagine what she's going through, because that's what she practiced for a long time to do. If she's not doing well, she's not going to feel good about herself. So we have to be careful and be mindful of what we're saying to people like that, especially when they're in that vulnerable state. Whenever you need to get that support, you have to just be mindful and make sure that you're not making a bad situation worse. So, what Yendi did was, a saving grace for her. And, the fact that she was able to reach out for help. I'm not sure who encouraged her or she did that on her own, but the greatest thing was that she got that opportunity to get that mental help that she needed. And, look at how she's performing now. She has bounced back and she's doing really well. So mental health is important. And, as we discussed prior to the, hopefully in terms of their training. It's not on the field alone, but how to deal with the other aspects of the sports that other persons are not deem as important. Just in terms of you taking care of yourself, how you deal with the media, and how you deal with criticism.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some, important points that you raised there. I believe, if I can recall clearly, she was stating in that, interview with Yendi that, I guess she kind of knows when she, needs help, so she will reach out, and for me that is, definitely important, and I really applaud her for that, and also for sharing, and as you said, just coming forward to speak, because sometimes we fail to understand that, they feel too. And just to imagine going there, doing well and just not being able to do that, So definitely kudos to Shericka there for, bouncing back and doing that so beautifully and beautiful. And while we're talking about that, Yendi and look at Shericka, it's just so beautiful to see them together in this photo and just, understand those beautiful and powerful words that Yendi shared, with Shericka, and pretty much, spoke into her life, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, something to that effect, but for sure. And, that is what we want to see. We want to build each other up. We want to empower each other. And so, yes, criticisms will come, and sometimes you have to know, I guess, what to react to. And some criticisms, there are constructive criticisms, and some are pretty much there to tear you down. And so sometimes in life, people will point out, certain things to us, and it is okay if they're doing it to build us up. All right, because we make mistakes, we're not perfect. But sometimes you have some people that the first thing that they're going to call, or point out, call you and say, or point out is, always the negative. They do not see you when you're doing the positive things. They do not see, anything good that, is coming from you. They're just always there to just, no, you can't do this, you can't do this, why you do that, why you do that, this not right. And for you, you just can't do anything good for them. But you have some persons in your corner that will, and I hope that, each of us, we have, one of those persons that that they love you, and they will share with you. They will let you know what is happening to build you up. All right. Hello, caller, you're live.
Hello, just coming back. Not yesterday, I got connected there. Yeah, but as I was saying, it was good that Shericka could get that necessary help needed, and that she found the strength to bounce back, because that's the greatest thing. And that's how you get stronger too, when you're able to bounce back when you're faced with your challenges, and you're able to, deliver what you have within you. Because it's never easy to perform less than what you know you can, and other factors can affect that. And to see how well she has recovered from that performance there, it's really remarkable.
Yes, for sure. Very, very good of her to be doing that. And I'm saying, look at her now, knocking and knocking at the world record door, and so again, people, and sometimes as Jamaicans, and I'm just going to put it there based on my experience, we tend to like mental health, wellness not taken seriously. not taken seriously. We associate that with mad people, and we need to change that in terms of, seeking counseling, support. And we need that. If it is that you feel, you need that support, go and get that support. Some people will say, well, our counselor can tell me I know already. And those are some of the things, that, based on my experience, I see when it comes on to mental wellness. We don't take it seriously. And because of that, we are not able to function, as best as we could if we were seeking the support that we need to ensure that, we are better, mentally. And I'm not sure, Ruren, is that your experience in the context of, mental, wellness in Jamaica? Is do you experience a similar thing where it's not taken seriously?
Yeah, yes, for sure. We tend to, coming from the way how we are socialized, we tend to pick on persons who have mental health. We say that madman there or this person, and we as you were alluding to, we more tend to go to the negative side of stuff, and very rarely we consider what can we do to help. Why are these people here? Do they have families? A lot of persons who have mental health in Jamaica, they live on the streets, and you'll see them, you know, struggling to get by. There are persons who are out there who have amazing job to take care of them in terms of providing food and shelter from time to time, but not all the times, everyone gets caught in that in terms of health. So, we need to be positive about this and optimistic about this, and be proactive about this in the sense that people who need mental health, once we see that starting to happen, then the necessary support should be sought for them, because it erodes. I think it erodes significantly, and persons may leave from being just slightly having a little challenge to going over the edge where they're don't know themselves. But it's for everyone to work together as a team in order for us to make sure that everyone is okay. If everyone helps somebody else, then everybody will be helped. So we all have our areas where we're weak, where we're struggling. And it would be so good if we're able to work with each other and help each other a lot.
Yeah, thanks for sharing there. And I figured that you pretty much predominantly shared based on, what you would see, as you said, like persons on the street and not having, that support. So it's good to look at it from that perspective. And also just as, individuals, even if you're going to work in your exec suit or your business suit, it's okay to get help. If you need help, seek help. All right. It's not for mad people. And I don't know why, we term like mental illness is just associated with, mad people, to say that if you go, it means that you are mad. And and that's not it. And so what we're saying is that, look at Shericka. Shericka is the fastest woman alive, over the 200, and she had to get, help. She sought, help. And so what we're saying is that if it is that you're experiencing difficulties, and you feel as if your mental health is affected, seek the support. Go and get help. Go and get the support from the professionals who are able to help you in that way. All right. Do not struggle. Do not struggle. It is important that you do. All right. And be better. Try it and see. Like it is definitely important that you seek help when you need help. All right. And again, we're just having a conversation here about Shericka, and Shericka shared about, Eugene, seeking support, and Yendi Phillips, and we're just talking too about life lessons. So lessons that we can take away from Shericka's experience and perhaps apply to our everyday life. So welcome if you're just tuning in. Welcome to the Voices in Education. This is a safe space where we can share and learn from each other. All right, we do that in a respectful way to ensure that we are maintaining our safe space and our safe community. So, Ruren, I'm just going to go back to playing these clips for persons if they're just coming in. So I'm just going to play the clips. I'm just going to just go through all the clips, and if you're just tuning in, you can share before we close out this conversation. All right, so I'm just going to go to the clips right now.
So today we are here in Brussels. We just finished running the 200. I ran 21:48, and I'm happy. I ran close to my personal best, and that was like probably, I've been so consistent, so I'm happy. I'm glad we are going home. We're going back to Jamaica, and we're going to eat a little bit, and then we head to Eugene. Can't really eat too much because we have goals that we don't meet yet. So, as I said, we're going back to Jamaica for probably 2 days, and then we head to Eugene for the Diamond League final. Let me all tell you, I just won 21:48, and I said yesterday in the press conference, if I don't get the record, I won't feel any way. I have 2 shots this year, and one is already gone, that's today. I have another shot in Eugene. I believe in myself, I believe in what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, if it comes, it comes. If it don't come, then kudos, take a little break, and then we prepare for next year. But as I said, it's just a focus on this year. If I get the world record in Eugene, then it's a plus. But I won't kill myself. I'm here. I'm enjoying myself. So today we are here. I think the only time the media affected me was 2020. And I'm not going to lie, to come back out there in that 4x1 after the 200 was really hard. It took mental strength. The media killed me, them licked me on my back, everything. I'm not going to lie, I had to go to therapy just to recover from the 200, not being able to make it. I was out there, I was smiling because yes, but I wanted my team to get medals and stuff, so therefore I had to come out. I'm not going to be selfish and like, oh, because I dropped out in the 200, I'm not going to come and run the 4x1 or I leg out the 4x4. But I think the 4x1 was priority. They never had anybody to run the heat, so maybe God did his job and I never made it, because what if I had made it, then there's a possibility no 4x1 wouldn't run. So for me, I think it took a toll on me mentally. That I had to remember that for me personally, they wanted me to run and I had to show up. I'm not going to be selfish. I could have been selfish and like, coach, hey, and not done this championship. But I'm like, no, it's part of the game. You have to learn from your mistake. Too bad I had to learn at the Olympic Games. But as I said, I came out and I'm not going to lie, a little tears up my eye when I went in the bathroom the night. Whenever I want to cry to stadium, because everybody was like, are you okay? Yes, I was okay. Deep down, I was hurting.
All right, so that's Shericka there, and let's go now to Shericka talking about Yendi Phillips in this context.
I think I went on Yendi's show, and I remember, I don't want to quote her wrong, and I remember when I was talking about it, and I almost had a little meltdown. I had to catch myself, because you will see, if you see me cry, I must be hurting. I'm this girl, I will lock in my room and I cry, my eyes swell, and I put on my hat, and I'm at training the other day. But I think I remember she saying, like when I was talking and I was like, I'm really hurting, and she said, you're going to do it though. And I was like, those are the words I needed at the moment from some of my friends that I had, which I didn't get. but it took somebody call it a complete stranger, because I've known Yendi, but I've never met her in person. And I think I've always posted that video. Every time I run a 200, I remember her exact words to me. As I said, I think Yendi had spoken to me and she didn't even know. Couple days, I think it was sometime in this year, I sent her a text on Instagram and I said, I thank you so much. She probably didn't know how much her words meant to me at the moment, but when I was driving home and I was in there and I was like, man, oh my, I needed to hear this, and I hear it from a complete stranger instead of persons that were in my corner. Honestly, I think I cut some of those circles off, because some of them, firstly, some of my friends who I dear to my heart text me and like, oh, what foolishness you just do. Oh my God. Like, come on, you know. And I tell people that be careful of what you say to people, because in that given moment I was broken. But big up Yendi. You see me right here and I must say thank you. I always thank her, because sometimes when I watch the video, I post it on my Instagram, and I watch the video, I put it on my story. And I did text her privately and then I told her thank you and I appreciate what she had said to me, because trust me, right now it stick to my heart there. Every time I got the line, I remember what Yendi said to me.
All right, so let's go to a clipping now from Yendi speaking into Shericka's life. All right, so let's go to that clip.
I went because when I was walking around from the car room to the warm-up area, I was like, boy, Jackson, what happened? I was talking to myself as if somebody was there with me.
Right.
You know, I was talking, I was answering, I was talking, I was answering. I was like, okay then, this is not a mistake. It's supposed to happen. It's just sad that it happened at the Olympic. Because, you know, I wanted to run the 200.
And everybody's expectation was so high.
I wanted to run the 200 so bad. I was like, man, I am better at 200. I wanted to run the 200. I want to show up. I wanted a medal in the 200, you know, because I wanted all medals going home.
I mean,
but
honey, yeah.
Honestly, it was difficult for me. It was, I never wanted to eat. And I was like, you know, at the time, I had Candice in my room as a roommate, and she never started to compete, and I never wanted her to see me cry. So, you know, I went in the bathroom and I started praying. I just burst out and started crying. I was like, man, and I was like, God, this is you. I know this is you, and I just have to accept it. I am not finished with the championship yet, so I just have to move on. It was, honestly, when I showed up in the 4x1 heats, I was like, man, I am back out there. I am so disappointed. I don't know how to deal with how I'm feeling. So coming back out there, I was like, okay then. I want my teammates to get a medal. I want them to make the final. So guess what? And I was like, snap out of it, you know? But honestly, when running that 4x1, all I was thinking about, this should have been the 200. This should, you know?
Oh, Shericka.
Oh, Lord.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's still painful.
Very.
That one is your baby. But you know, say you're going to do it though. I wonder if you know that.
All right, so those were Yendi's words to Shericka. You know, say you're going to do it though. I wonder if you know that. And as you heard Shericka saying, you know, before this clip here, that, you know, every time she goes to the 200 meters, you know, once she lines, you know, once she's there and, you know, lines up, she remember Yendi. So Yendi there, you know, say, you know, say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it though. And so I am looking forward to seeing, you know, Yendi and Shericka, you know, coming back and sharing and just talking about that. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story just to, you know, hear Shericka talking about, you know, what happened, you know, how she felt, you know, what, you know, the media, her friends, you know, not being there to support her. But it took, as, you know, Shericka would say, a complete stranger, Yendi Phillips, to say to her, you're gonna do it, so you're gonna do it though. I wonder if you know that. And those words, resonated with, or will still resonate with Shericka to this day. She states that, this is a motivating, factor for me. I go to the line and I am, I remember Yendi. I remember Yendi, and perhaps Yendi was not, knowing what she was doing, for Shericka in that conversation. But for sure, it meant so much to the point where that now, becomes, something, that voice, just playing her head becomes, a voice that pushes her to do it. And, even now, so having gone to Brussels and, going to Eugene, Shericka will still have that voice, I wonder if say I go do it. Can you imagine when Shericka do it? Do it, Shericka, do it. All right. Ruel, let me just come to you. And if you'd like to phone in, guys, I'm going to get the number back on screen for you. You can definitely phone this WhatsApp number that you see on screen. We would love to hear from you. So Rurian, you've heard it all. Do you want to add any more to this conversation? All right, not quite hearing from Rurian just yet, but I know that you'll come in. So again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome. So Shericka shared about Eugene just coming off, pretty much right after a run there in Brussels. And what she's saying is that at the moment, I guess she would like to do the 1-2, but no decision taken yet. All right, if she's going to do that. She's leaving Brussels, stopping in Jamaica before going to Eugene, and perhaps, just in and out of Eugene because, it's not so far. Carlos, hola, ¿cómo estás? Welcome, Carlos, welcome. And so sharing that, the record is still, I'm still going to try for the record there. And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, then that's okay. She'll take the break and I guess prepare for next season. And next season is coming up muy rápido, very quickly. And that will be, the Olympic Games, Paris 2024. Yes, yes. So that too, we want to see, and lots to look forward to there. And Shericka pretty much shares too what it means to be human, an athlete. A human is still a human, and have feelings, experience, disappointments. So it's not just about the wins, but it's also, the disappointments too. And it is important that, when you need help, reach out for help. That is very important, a big lesson there, a big takeaway for me. And I'm hoping for you too, and you can share in the chat or you can phone the number on screen, in terms of, Shericka's experience. And sometimes we have, persons in our life who we believe are truly in our corner, but we become so disappointed in them in the sense that they're not just, they're not there to support us. And in this context, Shericka was mentioning that, my friends or the people that I believe were my friends, they weren't pretty much there in the context of supporting me, texting me, what kind of foolishness you just do? And so, she was hurting, hurting in those moments, given, the 200 just being her baby. She really wanted to run the 200, she really wanted to run that 200. And watch her. Okay, just let me just finish here. And what Shericka was saying is that, it took a complete stranger, Yendi Phillips, to pour into her. And that was exactly what she needed. That was what she needed from her friends who were texting her, what kind of foolishness you just do? And Yendi was like, say I gotta do it. I wonder if say I gotta do it though. And so, that to her was so, needed, that to this day, when she's going to run the 200, she always remember those words. Go ahead, Ruren.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on the point that you were making. That, no, you need to ask her for
You're a
this.
bit low, Ruren.
Am I sounding a bit louder now?
Yes, a bit better.
A bit better, yes. So I'm saying that we need to ask ourselves this important question. Important question. Who are our friends? Because, our friends are not necessarily persons who are supporting us when we're up. Because what happens when we're down? These persons should be able to keep you grounded and say, all right, even though I'm your friend, I don't think this is right or that is right or you should do this. It shouldn't be a case that, everything that you say goes if that's all your friends are. Because, when you really actually need them, they will be there for you. And I think probably that is something that happened to Shericka, and that gave her a reality check, when she considered who are the persons that are right to go to her like that. So, we need to choose our friends carefully and know who exactly we have in our circle. Because if we know who is in our circle, then we know exactly where to get our support. And and in times of need and in times of great need, as her circle was able to support her, and she realized that she had had some persons in her circle that maybe should be there. But whenever you have done something wrong, you will know that you have done something wrong, or once it is pointed out to you, and it's just to find the ways to get out of that situation, to improve the situation that you're in. And if the persons around you are telling you or helping you to improve or to get out of that particular state that you're in, then chances are these are not your friends.
Yeah, for sure. You made some really great points there to say that sometimes the people who supports us, or who support us, right? The people who support us are pretty much supporting us when we're up, right? When we're winning. But as soon as we are, down, they are not there. They perhaps question, your attitude, your position, or whatever, given the context, of what is holding you down. And for you, you say, that is perhaps a time for a reality check in our lives, the persons that we have as our friends, are they there in our I guess lowest moments, or are they always there when we are at our top? And you can just ask that the people who are around you, are they just there when you're partying and you can give them this or you can buy them that? Are they just there in those moments? Or if you're driving now, is this the only time you're seeing them? What about when you walk foot? All right. So those are some important questions. And again, as you mentioned, we want persons who can say to you, okay, this is wrong, and that they're going to build you up in love, and they want the best for you. But then you have some persons, my God, the only thing that they will do is just, criticize. It's just always negative, and you just can't do, anything, right or good for them. Right. And so that is also important. Another point too And we have talked about this previously in another conversation, is that you need to check on your strong friends. And the people sometimes that you believe have, everything together, and you believe that, oh, their life is perfect and they have this, so perhaps, the fastest man alive, Usain Bolt, he does not need anything. He can go on, man. So, for example, you can thief him money because him rich, he can broke. And, it is important, for us to understand that, we are human. And that is why I really appreciate when we see star athletes coming to the fore and sharing these, perspectives, sharing their experiences. Elaine shared that, I cried for 2 weeks. And Shericka here, just sharing, because we see people, and because they're successful, sometimes they hide behind that success, or sometimes we use the success to cover the fact that they're human and that they feel. And so it is important for us to check on our strong friends, find out if they're doing okay, and just don't leave it there to say, are you okay? And they give you the, yes, I am good. Why are you good? What makes today a good day? You want to find out, because oftentimes these people, the so-called, the strong friends, who they are the ones, always reaching out, checking out for you, perhaps, providing for you, might be food or anything, persons who you have in your corner, because they feel as if they have everything in life, their life is just happy and they're okay. Check on them. You never know. And sometimes people just, need a listening ear, somebody that they can talk to. And it is important for you to check on your strong friends, right? So don't, forget to do that. Don't forget to check on persons, not because you feel as if, oh, you are parent and them own a house, you are drive ladder and them a drive Benz. It doesn't mean that because they're in a Benz, or because they have, their house, that they do not have issues and challenges. So we want to ensure that we're checking on our strong friends. That is definitely important. That is important, it's not a matter of this person just having life together. This person, sometimes they perhaps try not to break down in front of you, because you are expecting them to be strong all the time for you, right? While they have their life too going, and things are happening, and they need someone to check on them. And sometimes you would try to check, and they kind of push you off, because they're so strong. But, explore the conversation a little bit. Don't let them turn you off by saying, yeah, man, me good. Go on a bit further. Ask, what makes you good? Yeah, man, things are going good. You know, ask, man, find out. So why are things going good? What makes things so good? Why is it a good day today? Ask the question, because they're going to give you the normal responses. Yeah, I'm okay. How are you? Find out, press them, find out, why are things good today? What is happening? What makes it good? And you will see. So remember, guys, to check on your strong friends. And it is important. It is definitely important. Rian, back to you.
Yeah, we need to check on our strong friends for sure, because we sometimes take them for granted, because you go there for your support all the time, but who supports that strong person? That's a question that you need to ask. And conversation, dialogue can do a lot. Sometimes it's not about monetary stuff. It's just to show that you care, show that you have some sort of interest in their well-being, and that is, good enough. Just show that level of interest and so on. And, as with Shericka's case, sometimes the people who are closest to you are not the ones who give you the necessary that you need in terms of motivation. So that's something else that I want to make mention of. You have to know where to pull your strength from as well. You have to be able to differentiate between positive energy and negative energies and try as best as possible to lean on the positive. Whatever bad a situation is, you have to try and find the good in that. And probably you might not say, there's no good. If something bad has happened to you, then make sure that at the end of the day, you learn the lesson. But life is all about lessons. So whenever something bad happens, or you're caught in a situation, don't beat yourself too badly, because what happened has happened already. But make sure that you have learned this, because that will help you from not being in the situation again. And if you're down, it means that your only way up is the only way out is up. So you're gonna head right up. Yeah, so you're gonna just head up. So you just have to look at it from that standpoint. Try to be positive. And try to have strong positive around you as well. Mindset is important. So keep a positive mindset and just keep trying. As I said earlier, probably not today, but we only lose when we give up. And if we try, it means that we have an idea of what the situation is going to be like. You tried this and it didn't work, so you can try something else. If you didn't try, you don't know. So, I'm happy that Shericka could rise. I'm happy that, she could pick out of that interview, one or two or a few moments that could inspire her to continue on. And that's what happens with each of us in our lives. We need to just look for those moments, those inspiration from the people that are around us. It may not be the person that you're expecting it from. It could be from a child. What we should know, what inspires us, and we just make sure that we pull on those energy and be able to, boost ourselves, put ourselves on the right track, and also to inspire others. So, we have to try to be like that in order to be successful and to inspire others.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let me just go to the comments here. Namare saying that's real friends everyone needs. May God bless Yendi, and for sure, blessings to you, Yendi. And we know that Yendi is a witch child, so for sure, sending you positive energy, blessings, and all the best, and safe delivery for sure for Yendi. And Jappy's Sports Talk, welcome, welcome, welcome. And good afternoon to you too. Big up the family. All right, so big up to you too as well. And you can also go over and check out Jappy's Sports Talk and go over there and show him some support and love. All right. All right. So welcome again. If you're just tuning in, we're pretty much going to wrap this one up. So taking some final comments or a call or two if you would like to phone in and share. All right, so definitely would love to hear from you. So just before we go and end this conversation here, also please remember to close the chat and give this video a like. And if you're new to this space, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know in the chat and please hit that subscription button. Voices in Education. So this is a safe space where you can share and learn from each other. So we understand that each person, see things differently. And so you'll share, different perspectives, views, opinions, or even wonders, and that's totally okay. We share in a respectful way to maintain our safe community. All right, we understand that, each of us, yes, you are unique. And so you bring that uniqueness to this space. and that contributes to diversity. There is so much richness with diversity that allows us to share and learn from each other. So, for sure, we would love to hear your voice. So, don't be afraid to share in the chat, or better yet, to call in and let us hear from you. Again, this is Voices in Education, and welcome to this safe space. All right, so I'm looking in the chat and I am seeing Justin. Hello, hello. Good day, guys. Hope you guys have a blessed weekend, and you too, sending blessings to you there. How is it? What is it like now with Lee? Justin, let us know. So let us know what is happening. Would love to hear from you. Let us know what is happening there. All right. So again, welcome. We pretty much shared about Shericka, and I'm just going to perhaps go over, just share the recordings again with you if you're just tuning in, so that you can, get an understanding of our conversation here. So Shericka shared about Eugene, seeking support, and also Yendi Phillips, and pretty much Yendi there speaking into her life, and that was important for her in the context of going every time she goes to that 200-meter race. She's hearing Yendi, and that keeps her going. And so let us go to the recordings again. All right, so Justin is saying nothing much, just a bit of rain there in Antigua. All right, we're happy for that. We're happy for that, and that things are still okay. All right, wonderful. So let us go back to Yendi, to Shericka, and Yendi, and let us hear, just listen to the recordings again. So Shericka is going to share about, Brussels, a bit of what happened in Brussels, and I guess, intentions in terms of moving into Eugene, and then you will see what happens with Yendi. So Yendi will come into that conversation there as well. So this is not the entire conversation, just some clippings from the conversation that I believe will help you in the context of, sharing your views, and also, life lessons, or lessons that you can take away and apply to your everyday life. All right. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's go to the first recording.
So today we are here in Brussels. We just finished running the 200. I ran 21:48, and I'm happy. I ran close to my personal best, and that was like probably, I've been so consistent, so I'm happy. I'm glad we are going home. We're going back to Jamaica, and we're going to eat a little bit, and then we head to Eugene. Can't really eat too much because we have goals that we don't meet yet. So as I said, we're going back to Jamaica for probably 2 days, and then we head to Eugene for the Diamond League final. Let me tell you, I just won 21:48, and I said yesterday in the press conference, if I don't get the record, I won't feel any way. I have 2 shots this year, and 1 is already gone, that's today. I have another shot in Eugene. I believe in myself, I believe in what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, if it comes, it comes. If it don't come, then kudos, take a little break, and then we prepare for next year. But as I said, it's just a focus on this year. If I get the world record in Eugene, then it's a plus. But I won't kill myself. I'm here. I'm enjoying myself.
All right, so that's Shericka there, talking about, the plans moving forward into Eugene. And if the record comes, it comes. If not, that's okay. She'll just take the break and get ready for next season. And let's now go to
today we are here
to this clip. All right, so let's hear what Shericka has to say here. And in this one, she's going to bring that 200 meter, that 200 meters mishap in the Olympic Games. She's going to bring that one into perspective, and that is going to prepare, I guess, the way in which Yendi Phillips comes into this context. All right.
I think the only time the media affected me was 2020. And I'm not going to lie, to come back out there in that 4x1 after the 200 was really hard. It took mental strength. The media killed me, them licked me on my back, everything. I'm not going to lie, I had to go to therapy just to recover from the 200, not being able to make it. I was out there, I was smiling because yes, but I wanted my team to get medals and stuff, so therefore I had to come out. I'm not going to be selfish and like, oh, because I dropped out in the 200, I'm not going to come and run the 4x1 or I leg out the 4x4. But I think the 4x1 was priority. They never had anybody to run the heat, so maybe God did his job and I never made it, because what if I had made it, then there's a possibility no 4x1 wouldn't run. So for me, I think it took a toll on me mentally. That I had to remember that for me personally, they wanted me to run and I had to show up. I'm not going to be selfish. I could have been selfish and like, coach, hey, I'm not done this championship. But I'm like, no, it's part of the game. You have to learn from your mistake. Too bad I had to learn at the Olympic Games. But as I said, I came out and I'm not going to lie, a little tears up out my eye when I went in the bathroom the night. Whenever I want to cry to see them, because everybody was like, are you okay? Yes, I was okay. Deep down, I was hurting.
All right, so that's Shericka there sharing about the mishap, and she was definitely hurting in those moments, and you can get that. And we're going to go now where she's talking about Yendi, and we're also going to bring in a clip from that conversation back in 2021 when she was sharing with Yendi on our program Odyssey with Yendi. And so we're going to get that into perspective there. Justin is saying, I can see Shericka is motivated to beat the world record. All right, so let's go to the other clip.
I think I went on Yendi's show and I remember, I don't want to quote her wrong. I remember when I was talking about it and I almost had a little meltdown. I had to catch myself, because you will see, if you see me cry, I must be hurting. I'm this girl, I will lock in my room and I cry, my eyes swell and I put on my hat and I'm at training the other day. But I think I remember she saying, like when I was talking and I was like, I'm really hurting, and she said, you're going to do it though. And I was like, those are the words I needed at the moment from some of my friends that I had, which I didn't get. But it took somebody, call it a complete stranger, because I've known Yendi, but I've never met her in person. And I think I've always posted that video. Every time I run a 200, I remember her exact words to me. As I said, I think Yendi had spoken to me and she didn't even know. Couple days, I think it was sometime in this year, I sent her a text on Instagram and I said, I thank you so much. She probably didn't know how much her words meant to me at the moment, but when I was driving home and I was in there and I was like, man, oh my, I needed to hear this, and I hear it from a complete stranger instead of persons that were in my corner. Honestly, I think I cut some of those circles off, because some of them, firstly, some of my friends who I dear to my heart text me and like, oh, what foolishness you just do. Oh my God. Like, come on, And I tell people that be careful of what you say to people, because in that given moment I was broken. But big up Yendi. You see me right here and I must say thank you. I always thank her. Sometimes when I watch the video, I post it on my Instagram, I watch the video, I put it on my story. And I did text her privately and I told her thank you, and I appreciate what she had said to me, because trust me, right now it sticks to my heart there. Every time I got in line, I remember what Yendi said to me.
All right, and let's go to that clip now where, Shericka is going to share there a little bit and Yendi will get what Yendi said to Shericka. All right, so let's go to that clip.
I went because when I was walking around from the car room to the warm up area, I was like, boy, Jackson, what happened? I was talking to myself as if somebody was there with me.
Right.
I was talking, I was answering, I was talking, I was answering. I was like, okay, then this is not a mistake. It's supposed to happen. It's just sad that it happened at the Olympic because I wanted to run the 200,
and everybody's expectation was so high.
I wanted to run the 200 so bad. I was like, man, I am better at 200. I wanted to run the 200. I want to show up. I wanted a medal in the 200, because I wanted all medals going home.
I mean,
but
honey, yeah.
honestly, it was difficult for me. It was, I never wanted to eat. And I was like, at the time, I had Candice in my room as a roommate and she never started to compete and I never wanted her to see me cry. So, I went in the bathroom and I started praying. I just burst out and started crying. I was like, man, and I was like, God, this is you. I know this is you and I just have to accept it. I am not finished with the championship yet. So I just have to move on. It was, honestly, when I showed up in the 4x1 heats, I was like, man, I am back out there. I am so disappointed. I don't know how to deal with how I'm feeling. So coming back out there, I was like, okay then. I want my teammates to get a medal. I want them to make the final. So guess what? And I was like, snap out of it, But honestly, when running that 4x1, all I was thinking about, this should have been the 200. This should,
Oh, Shericka.
Oh, Lord.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's still painful.
Very.
That one is your baby. But say I gotta do it though. I wonder if you know that.
All right, so the words, say I gotta do it though. I wonder if you know that. And those are the words Shericka take with her to the 200 meters line. All right. So kudos to Yendi, and we sending you lots of blessings here from the Voices in Education. And again, all the best, safe delivery. And, again, we're just having this conversation here now. So just for you to pretty much hear, those pieces, your varying perspectives on this one. I'm trying to get back to my screen where you can see the number, but we'll try. But let me just look in the chat here. And Justin is saying, I heard a caller said the other night that she needs someone to push her. Yes, that may be true, but there is no one out there, I guess, to push her, given the times that she's running, right? The only person or thing that can push her, it's time. The time of the world record is her biggest motivation. For sure, that clock, yeah. And I guess in the last, even at Budapest, what we saw her, coming off, and it was pretty much she and the clock, because there was this gap, and we saw the same thing there in Brussels again. And so she has to find, as you said, that motivation, and that motivation is going to be the time, the world record time, that clock, and just trying to run as fast as she can, because we're not seeing anyone else right now at 21:4, 21, we're not seeing that. And so Shericka, I believe, has what, 3 of the 4 fastest times, I believe. Yes, from that, from the 200. So just put that into perspective there. So Shericka is super, super fast, and she's trying to get the record. We'll see. Justin, I perhaps know what your answer is going to be, that no, she's not going to get it in Eugene, but Shericka. But you can call Justin. I don't want to be your voice. You're here. Would love to take your call before we wrap this one up. If you'd like to share, that is totally up to you if you want to call in. All right. So for sure, we've heard from Shericka, and my screen is still frozen, but let's see. Let's see, it's not moving, so I'm just going to leave that there. The 200 meters, I guess women is becoming disinterested because it's dominated by one person. Well, I guess the interest for me is that each time I see Shericka runs, I am hoping that we're going to get the record. So for me, that keeps me, excited, and just wanting to see. Hello, caller, you're live.
Leslie.
Justin. I see you like Miss Lee. I see you like Miss Lee, so work with the Lee.
Yes, yeah, I'm sticking with the Lee. Sticking with the Lee. So that's the name that they give me, and Lee was just on the offshore, so I'm gonna stick with you.
I know that's the other part of it. But that's fine. It's Natasha Lee Thompson. You don't like the Thompson, you don't like Elaine Thompson, you don't like Shane Thompson.
Well, I think the Thompson last name is a household name in Jamaica, right? It's a well-known last name in Jamaica, right?
For sure, Thompson things, but it's okay. I can work with Miss Lee.
Because when I said Thompson, it could be so many other Thompson. Lee is something that it's unique. So how are everything today?
Things are good. How are you? I'm happy to hear that you guys are still doing okay.
Yeah, it's already past us. So he makes some trip more to the northern part of the island. So he didn't really do us any harm or everything. He just leave us with a little bit of rain. So that's about it.
Yeah, that's definitely good to hear.
Right. Well, Shericka, no. Shericka, no. Like I said, I know, she's have her mindset on Eugene. And I'm still not going to see it in Eugene. If it's any time that I'm going to see it probably in Paris. And I already said my reason why, but on a note of the 200 is becoming to be very disinterested because they know competition there. Why get excited to watch a race when you already know the winner?
Well, I'm excited because each time she goes out there, I am wondering if she's going to get the record. So that's where my excitement comes from. And I just love watching the races. But for me, with that one, that's where the excitement comes for me. If she's going to get the record. So it's like, yes, we know she's going to win. So once, you see her off that bend for me, I'm just looking, my God, is it, I'm watching the time. And so that's my excitement.
All right. She's going to run in Eugene. She's going to run between 21:45 and 21:50.
Okay.
So I'm giving you the times early. So, yeah, I think she's, she's too much. Yeah, I think that she having too much on her mind. She just needed to relax, focus, and just continue to try to improve and work and run faster than actually working for the time. So, but I'm more interested about the 100 meter coming up because Elaine coming back into form, running 10:83. And Shakira is going to be there. So the 100 meters is what is the highlight for me, because I'm interested to see how far Elaine has come, because running a time the other day as at the Diamond League running 1083. It's really good. He's saying that
I think it was 1084.
Yeah. Right. So it shows that she's coming back to some sort of form, you know. And when you see somebody run 1011, argue 1011, then 1092, then 1084, you see a rapid improvement in this individual. So there's no more you can take this young lady lightly. So it just shows that she's getting back into top form. So the 100 meter will be very interesting for me.
Yes.
I can't wait to watch it, because
for sure.
I want to see how far Elaine has come.
For sure. And I'm not too sure yet if Shericka is going to be in that one. And I believe Elaine should be there. We're still waiting to see the schedule.
She's not going to be there.
You saw the schedule?
She's not going to. Well, I don't have to see the schedule. When you're trying to break a world record, you want your legs in them to be as fresh as possible.
So you don't think Elaine is going to run in the 100, or Shericka you're talking?
Shericka.
Oh yeah. So she was saying that, she's not too sure yet, but perhaps she might, because her understanding is that the 100 is going to run, I guess, the Saturday, or they're not going to run on the same day. So right. So she is, I guess, considering. So when I was listening to her, she was saying that, no decision is taken, as yet, but, she wanted to, I guess, to do both. And I guess that's why she was trying to get this business, done in Brussels, which didn't happen. So perhaps she's going to focus on the 200, or maybe they revisit and say, all right, it's okay, let's double. So I'm not too sure yet.
In Brussels, she was 210. She was too eager. When I look at her face, she was like, she's like an army woman going on a mission. She was really serious and intense.
Yes, because she had business to take care of. So not joking with that clock. Not joking with that clock.
The funny thing about it, I always admire what's her name there? Fraser Price. Doesn't matter what the situation is, she always have a smile on her face. Yeah, she's super. She's super, and I guess years of experience and competing, you have seen that, and she brings that lighter side, brighter lighter side to the sport as well, and we like to see that. And we see the girls, some of them, they're coming in, and we want to see that. Persons will talk about Sha'Carri too as well, and that kind of excitement that she brings to the sport. We saw that with Usain Bolt. So it's good to see that, and also to see the human side. They're human, and sometimes we fail to remember that. Right. So it's all up to Miss Jackson now. I just think that she's too much focusing on the world record and just not focusing on really just running really fast rather than actually get the world record. Because the world record is there for you to. It's just 2 over seconds, point of a second of you not being in the world record. So it's just a matter of time and when it will happen. But I believe it will happen though, because she's at the peak of her power now. She's 25 and she's strong, she's fit, she's at the peak of her power. And now is the right time. She feels it's the right time to break record. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just believe that you have to do it. You have to have your mindset on just running rather than just be focused on the record.
Oh, Shericka is about 29.
So, yeah, Shericka, 29.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Shericka was something there. So we just have to wait and see. Like I said, the 100 meters is my interest. To see how far Elaine. It's not so much about Shakiri because I know what form she's in.
Right.
She's still in top. She's in basically. She's gonna probably run maybe 10-7 high. But I just need to see the race to see how far Elaine has come. Because remember, she beat Elaine the other day and she beat Elaine maybe like just cruising. Yeah. And running, I think it was an 8-2 or something like that.
Yeah. And
so
yeah, Elaine was like 11 in that one, somewhere there.
Huh?
Elaine was
I think
like,
she came, what, third?
Yes, with like 11 seconds flat or something like that.
Right. So, she should feel proud of where she's from, for the first hitting 10, sub 10, sub 11, and then going to, running 10:84. So it's just interested to see what she does in the upcoming week. So we will see what happens because I already know, like I said, I already know how Miss Richardson is going to be, how what time she's going to run. So I'm just interested to see what time. But I have a time for Elaine. I think she'll probably run 10:8. 10:8. 10:8.
10:8. I'm thinking 10:7:9. Close.
Nah, that's too much.
She's at 8:4.
That's too much.
She's at 8:4. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say 10:7:9. If she's coming back and having Shakari there in the race, who is going to perhaps push her.
So let me ask you. So you think she have a chance of beating Shakiri?
When this Friday or Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday. I don't see the schedule, but this weekend, I don't know. That's I don't know if she's if she's getting closer to the Elaine that we know, I'll say yes. But in terms of form, I can't tell you specifically, where she is like this weekend would give me a better picture of saying, okay, all right, this is something, all right, you're doing, so even if she's not the winner, like that is going to tell me because we're going to see her, pretty much going based on our improvements. So that is going to be something there to see for sure. And I am happy that she looks like she's going to make it. So based on our calculations and the tiebreaker rule there, she's in the number 9 position based on the points. And I believe they're going to go with 9 lanes. So she should be in Eugene. Yeah.
And only one person running lane 9 and 1, right?
Yep. Well, she came second too. Third as well. From lane 9.
Okay.
Remember we saw her back in the 200 in lane 9. I was like, what is happening here again? But
but that's the 200 we're talking about.
Yeah.
100.
But that's okay. Shakari is going to do well for sure. And she's going to do well. She's in the shape of her life. And it's hard to put Elaine in that mix, but you never write off a champion, and they're both champions. Yeah.
They can't write you off, and this is good, for athletics because I can tell you 2 weeks ago, Elaine was not even in the conversation to be in the final for the Diamond League. And she made herself a contender now by she improving in the last 2 weeks. Maybe the other thing that we can look at too, maybe pulling Elaine from the Olympic, from the World Championship relay team, give her some sort of motivation or something to go and work hard and prove people, hey, I am still here.
Right. Yeah. Strong possibility.
So that could be a blessing for her too.
Yes. And it would be something to say, I am never going to be in this position again. It could be that talk to self to say, you know, if I'm showing up, I am never going to be in this position again where, you know, I am just there for heat, you know. So perhaps, you know, she's giving herself, you know, that, you know, kind of talk as well. So
Right, right. Well, you know, this is what you know, sprinting and athletics is all about. Just like what Ms. Jackson said, that person that she thought was a friend would say such thing to her, and she just go and prove people wrong and just do what she gotta do.
right,
And
right.
you know, this is probably much the same thing that Elaine is saying. That okay, then you know what? Everybody from the Jamaican team does not see me as the same Elaine anymore. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna go back into the book, and I'm going to rewrite my script. I'm showing them that, hey, I'm still here. I'm still the alien to be feared. And that's what she's showing now, because she foot is turning faster. Her form looking lovely. So this is somebody that to keep an eye on and to watch.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And she's coming back, and I like what I am seeing. I like that. I like that for Elaine, and I like that for, you know, the sport in general. Because, you know, when it's more competitive, you know, lots of excitement, and I just want everyone to be at their best, because it means that
Remember,
we're going to get a treat.
just remember, you will, Jamaicans may think that, most Jamaican may think that Fraser Price is the greatest sprinter, female sprinter. But Elaine will have something to say about that, because Elaine will say she may have more gold medals than me because she's probably running longer than me. But I have the fastest time alive and the second fastest time ever. And I think that will speak for something. So she may have that saying in her mind, up her sleeves, saying that as well.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt that, you know, Shelly has done amazingly well. And I guess, you know, each lady, they have their path and, you know, their journey, their lane. And so it's just, you know, interesting to see, you know, how things unfold. I believe, I'm not sure, but, you know, previously Shelley was planning on, you know, retiring, you know, I guess at Paris or after Paris. So I'm not sure that's still the plan moving forward. But, you know, she has done so much.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
The other thing that I want to mention too, don't be surprised if Mitch Richardson goes 6'10", 10-6. Don't be surprised.
Right.
They call this the last blast before recycle.
Okay.
And that's what Miss Jackson is doing, to the last blast before the recycle. So when you do the last blast, you know, okay, you know what? I am at this. So, okay. When we recycle my peak again, I am looking to run below this. So this is why I said to say to you, I believe that she will break the record. If she do break the record in Paris, that's just my belief. Also, I just believe who is going to win the women 100 in Paris, who will have to run 10-5.
Yeah, you said that for sure.
That is what the women 100 meter is so competitive, and it's just a margin of error can cause you not to win. So this is why I figure that, because of the competitive nature of the women and how the standard they're running that they're doing now, I figure that a 10-5 would be, you know, winners take it all.
Right. Yeah, it's really competitive and really exciting, and I definitely can't wait for Paris. For Paris.
I think you're more intrigued about next weekend than before Paris.
This weekend, well, for sure, I want to see where Elaine is at before the season ends, and, you know, that is going to be good to see her there and just see, just to see, okay, this is where she's at right now in the context of form. And that,
I'm so happy Elaine is back in your conversation. I'm so happy.
yes, definitely happy. And, we always know.
Favorite.
And it's,
she's my favorite Jamaican printer.
Okay, happy to hear that. But I don't know, but sure. I guess Elaine, for me, has not been the world championship girl, right? I think her best medal because of her injuries and all that, not by choice, people, but because of circumstances. So
but question. I'm from what I'm getting that, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, or maybe because which part of the world that I am, but I'm getting from the Jamaicans that I does not see the same. I don't know if you see it as well. I don't see the same support for Elaine like what Miss Jackson and Fraser Price get. Why is that? Maybe it's just me.
Support in terms of from fans or?
Well, from fans, as in, okay, yes, Shericka is gonna do it, or Fraser Price, yes, but I'm not seeing that same sense of joy and excitement when it comes to Elaine.
I believe it is there, and perhaps why no, you might not be seeing it is because she's not perhaps so much, she wasn't so involved in the world championships, but for sure, we see it. We see it. And right now, the conversations that I'm hearing is that Elaine is the best person to pretty much, put Sha'Carri under some pressure. And in Jamaica, discipline her. So Elaine is pretty much the person who can come and, yes, and so-called discipline Sha'Carri. Right, so that's pretty much some of the talks that I'm hearing here, Justin. That Elaine is the one to do it. Elaine is the only one that we have can stop, like say to Sha'Carri, calm down, yeah. So
well, it will take some doing to do that, because in all my years of watching track and field, I have not seen, and not even Fraser Price, not even Shericka, not even Elaine herself, constantly running 10-7 for 5 back-to-back races and make it look so easy.
Well, I understand, but in a context where if you have a Elaine ahead of Sha'Carri, I don't think Sha'Carri can do what she did there in terms of passing Shericka and passing Elaine. No, that is not going to happen if you have a fit Elaine. At the Elaine that we know, she could run till she can't. She'll have to get that start and just go. But I don't. This is my belief now. Not saying it can't happen. Just an opinion here. I don't. Once we have a Elaine at the Elaine we know. And if Elaine is out there, I don't think Sha'Carri can run past Elaine. I like how Elaine runs, as you would perhaps say, our feet, are turning and the strides. I don't know. I don't believe, a Sha'Carri would do that to a Elaine in that top form.
Right. Well, it's all up to left to see and see what happened,
For sure. We can only speculate until the day.
Right. Anyway, you enjoy the rest of your day. We touch base again.
For sure. Thank you, Justin, and take care.
No problem.
All right.
You too, man.
All right, so Justin there, calling and sharing with us as usual, and always sharing. Love to hear from him and love to hear from you too. So let me go into the chat right now. Namara, yes, she's prepared. Let's pray for her. And Flojo's record 21-34 will be dissolved or put it. okay, I guess this is in reference to Shericka here in Eugene. So, let's support Shericka. I guess, stand strong. All right. So thanks for sharing there. Namara and Shem. Welcome, 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 Shem. All right, guys, if this is your first time here, please hit the subscription button and let me know in the chat as well. All right. And Shem is saying, my excitement is seeing the time she's going to run, just the same as Bolt was always the predicted winner. However, we always wanted to see what time he would run. Yeah, so the times for sure. Elaine stated on Instagram she's going to Eugene. All right, Shem, thanks for sharing that. And we're pretty much, saying the same thing there. Just wanted to see official confirmation, but that schedule is not yet available. And Elaine went 10.8 with 0 wind. She can go 10.7. Yes, for sure, it was 10.84 and the wind was 0 for sure there. All right, and would love to see that. We would love to see that. So, and I was told, I don't remember who said this, to me, that the problem with Eugene, well, Eugene can be good and Eugene can be bad in the sense where the wind might not be a legal wind. And we want a little wind, yes, but we want it to be in that limit. And so perhaps, that would help Shericka there. So that was, I guess, while we're talking about Shericka, that came into the conversation. My display is frozen here, and I'm not able to go back currently to the information slide. So I'm going to post the WhatsApp number in the chat. And if you'd like, can probably take, one more call if persons are still sharing. So the WhatsApp number that you can call, putting it in the chat right now. So if you'd like to phone in and share, you can definitely do that. So the number is in the chat. So if you're here and you want to call and let me hear your voice, you can definitely do that. We definitely want to hear from you. But Rurian, you can definitely circle me back and let me know if you have any final comment. Definitely, call and, share some of, final comments that you might have. And so pretty much, we shared about, Shericka Jackson, talking about Eugene and that she's still going for the record there. And, she's saying, I have two options, in terms of getting that record in Brussels, and I still have Eugene. So I'm basically going to go and try and get that record. At this point, I'm not sure if Shericka is going to do the double, the 100 and the 200 there in Eugene, because again, she's trying to get the record. But perhaps you might see her doing both, because Shericka was saying that, the races will be run on, different days. So I guess creating that window of opportunity. And that would make the 100 interesting too, to see Shericka, Shakari, Elaine, and others. So for sure. And that would be awesome. So in that moment, or in this moment, I can share with you some of the points, well, or the athletes in the top 9 athletes based on the point standing for the Diamond League final. I believe it's going to be top 9 moving forward. I believe, let me emphasize that word. So we're still waiting on the official schedule. To see persons who will be there. But as you know, or if you don't know, with the Diamond League, points are awarded once the athletes go on the circuit to run. So at the different meets, so first place will get 8 points, second place 7, third place 6, and it goes in that order to 1 point. All right. So this is for, let me just start the shorter distances, perhaps the 100 to 800. All right. So not the long distance, and the field event, they allocate the points, slightly different, and perhaps might have like 10 athletes as opposed to 8. So that there is a little bit different. So we're talking about the sprints now. All right. So based on that allocation, after the 13 meets perhaps on the circuit, there they allocate the points, and the top 8, because that's what's listed there on the website, will advance to the final, which is going to be happening this weekend in Eugene. All right, but we're saying, explained, by a caller sharing that the track there is 9 lanes, so they're perhaps going to utilize the 9 lanes. So based on the points for the 100 meters, Elaine is in the number 9 spot. Not just Elaine, others are there too, but there is this tiebreaker rule where if you have athletes on the same amount of points, they will go and look at the season best for each of the athletes sharing that point or the same amount of points, and determine the person going forward will be determined by season best. All right. So in that sense, Elaine has the best time. So Elaine will advance. All right. So just to let you know, that's pretty much what is happening. So if you go to the table and you see other athletes on 14 points and you're wondering, so why Elaine? That is the reason. All right. So let me just quickly share with you before we wrap up just some of the points. I'll just share, not the points, I'll just tell you the names in the top 9 for the competition here. I'm just trying to bring that information up for you. But in the meantime, you can close the chat and, give this video a like. All right. Don't be afraid to like, and do not be afraid to hit that subscription button as well. And if you're just tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So for the 100 meters women, we have, all right, Talu Jackson, so Shericka. And if Shericka is not running, perhaps that will make way for another athlete. Not sure, perhaps. Shakari, Dina, Darrell, TT, Terry, Zoe, Gina, Elaine. So the other persons who are on the same, points as Elaine would be Swaboda and Morrison. That is Natasha Morrison of Jamaica, all right? So we are anticipating that, Elaine, and as Shem mentioned there, that Elaine posted on Instagram that she'll be running in Eugene. All right, so let's go to the 200. So we have Shericka, Darrell Nita, Antonique Strawn, Kayla, Dina Asha, Talu, so Marie Jose Talu, Jenna Prandini, Gabby, all right, and Mabondo, all right. So Julian Alfred is in the number 10 spot with 7 points of St. Lucia. So perhaps we won't see her in this one based on points. So unless again there is some changes. So, but we'll see. Perhaps she won't be in there. All right. And in the 800 meters, we'll have Natoya Gould, Catriona, Mary, Alima, Keely, Sage, Gemma, Renelle, and perhaps Laura. All right. So those are some of the, let me go to the hurdles. So the 100-meter hurdles will have Nia, Toby, Alicia, Kendra, Tia, Jasmine, Pia, Megan, and perhaps Daniel here in the number 9 position, Daniel Williams. So we should see Daniel. So some big names in this one, Nia, Toby, Kenny, Jasmine, Daniel. So that should be an amazing, run there, final. So looking forward to that one as well. 400-meter hurdles, Fenkeball will be there. Rochelle, Clayton, Janive Russell, Shamir Little. We'll have Ayomide, Victoria, Gianna, Anna, Andrenet, and I believe that's where 3 Jamaicans in this one, if they're using that, number 9 spot. So we'll see. All right, we'll definitely see how that one goes. Let me just look at some of the men. And as persons are saying, it's not so exciting on the men's side, but let's see. So we have Fred Curley here, Ferdinand, Simbini, Johan Blake, Leslie, Kishane. I'm not sure if Kishane is going to run. It's just seemingly doing, one race, but would love to see Kishane Thompson, Trayvon, Joshua, Christian, and Noah Lyles is there, but Christian and Noah Lyles, I'm not sure they're going to do that, but they did say Noah is going to be there. All right, but I am not sure if it's going to be the 100 or the 200 for sure. I think he's in, but right now he's in the number 9 spot, right behind Christian Coleman. I know they share the world leading time, but perhaps Christian might trump Noah, but we'll see. All right, not official schedule, and we're not sure if persons, who are qualified will be there or what's happening, but that's where it's at right now based on the point standing here on worldathletics.org. All right, so if you want to check that, you can also go there and check that for yourself. In the 200 meters men, we have Ariane Knighton, and we have Joseph, Kenneth, Andre DeGrasse, Zarnell, Reina, Noah. Let's see. So this is, let's see here again, in number 9 spot. So we know that Noah Lyles for sure is okay where points are concerned for the 200, all right? The 400, we'll see Vernon Wade. We'll see Takiti, Rasheen, Bayako, Matthew, Luengo, Avard, and perhaps Bryce. All right, Kirani James is in the number 10 spot, so not sure. Stephen Gardner, Bahamas, in the number 10 spot there as well. So we're not too sure what will happen. Again, just sharing with you based on what I'm seeing here in the points, not confirming that these are all the athletes that are going to run in the finals, all right? For the 110-meter hurdles, and this is men, of course, we'll see Grant, Ansel, Just, Jamal, Jason, Shunsuki, Freddie, Daniel, and perhaps Devon. All right. So Rashid Broadbell is all the way in number 12 position. So perhaps we're not going to see Broadbell there running. And, I would love to see Broadbell. I believe, yeah, definitely love to see Broadbell. So some of the events there and, what is, happening, hope to see happen there in, I almost said, Budapest, in Eugene. And I'm not sure, perhaps we'll try to watch along depending on what's happening in my life at the time, but we'll see how it goes. No promises yet, so I'm not promising that, but we'll see. And exciting and can't wait. So guys, please turn on your post notification as soon as I am able to. I will try to give you a schedule where you know exactly that we're meeting this time. But for now, just bear with me and we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's just continue to grow together. All right. And continue to maintain our safe space where persons feel a sense of belonging once you get to this space and you feel welcome and you feel valued. That is definitely important. That is important in terms of sharing your voice. And you just think about you being a student, and when you go to school or you're in a class, and if you feel as if you're othered, you don't feel welcome, you don't feel included, the space is not feeling safe, you might not want to share, you might not want to talk. So I am very for just maintaining this space. And it's okay to share differing views, opinions, wonders. That's totally okay, but we just do it in a respectful way, so that we allow each person to share, and that we value what you bring to this space. Because there's so much that we have been learning, that I have been learning. I don't know everything. I don't know. Lots that I don't know. And so I am just facilitating, so that we have this space, this beautiful space where we can continue to share, learn from each other, and grow together. All right. So thanks for coming over. Thanks for making it, another interesting conversation. And I'll say, pay attention to your mental health and well-being. It is important that you take care of you. And as I mentioned earlier, that, my experience, and this is my experience in Jamaica, is that, if you need some mental health support, is, they just associate that with you're a mad person. And so we need to move away from that. We need to move away from that, similar to how, if, you're experiencing certain, medical issues, you go to whatever specialist that you need. Similarly, seek your counselors, reach out for support. They are the professionals, and don't say to yourself, what counselor go tell me women don't know already about myself. No, no, no. We want to move from there and, get into the place where we're open, and we go. If you need it, go. If you need support, seek support. It is okay. And I am happy, not happy that, athletes are going through experiences like negative experiences. No, not happy about that. But what, I am happy to see is that they're coming forward. So Shericka, for example, shared, as we talked, here earlier, and Elaine stepping out to say, listen, I cried for 2 weeks after failing, to make an individual event there at the national trials back in Jamaica. So saying that to say, there is so much that we can learn from our athletes, right? And that we can use to apply to our everyday life, right? And again, as I always, say, disappointments, challenges, they will be there, right? And it's how we react to them that will determine how quickly we move on or if we move on. And sometimes we need to step back and take some time to deal with our emotions. They're real. We're human, we're not machines that can be oiled or quickly fixed. And so it's a process. And with process, takes time, right? And so for Shericka, to share, that, I reached out. I needed, that support and, therapy. And, she accessed it and she's doing better. She knows when she needs help that she should reach out, for help. And that is so good. And I feel like, Sharika, they can bring you and, take you and put you on like a mental wellness campaign, and the importance of that, just you coming forward and sharing that. So sponsors, here's an idea. Let's do it. Ministry of Health in Jamaica or, any Caribbean country, wanting to go on that because it's important. It's important, right? It's important. And Elaine just sharing, it's just seeing them too, that they're not just on the track, just running fast. It's a process. It's a lot that they're putting into this process to create this spectacle that we all want to see. And so we just have to give them some grace too, and also learn from them. And one point that I made earlier too is that we need to learn to check on our strong friends. Those people that you believe have, life so-called easy and things are going good for them. We need to check on them because sometimes they need you. All right. The people who are always calling and checking on you, sometimes they need you. And guess what? You will call, and check, and they just shove you off. So you'll call and say, for example, I call and I say, Justin, how are you doing today? I'm good. And they kind of just push you off. But guess what? This is what you should do. So I'm good. Okay, Justin, so you're good. What makes you good today? And you expand that conversation because sometimes they give you the answers that, the expected answer, kind of like the generic answers. And so it is important, for you to don't stop at that little surface level response, but try to move below that. Why are you good? What makes today a good day? Try and find out and, just, dig a little bit deeper and provide the support that they need because sometimes your strong friends, they hide behind their successes, their jobs, their education or qualification. They tend to hide behind that. They feel as if they should be the one supporting you and not vice versa. But I'm saying to you today, check on your friends and also your strong friends. And another big takeaway from me in the context of this conversation too, and what Shericka mentioned, is that, sometimes you have some friends and when you're at your lowest point, they are beating you down. So when she had that mishap with the 200 meters, she was saying, friends were texting and like, what kind of foolishness this you do? And she was like, I am hurting. And that's the last thing you want to hear, right? That's the last thing you want to hear. And Shericka is saying that it took a complete stranger, pretty much, Yendi Phillips, to pretty much tell her what she needed to hear. All right. And so she pretty much say, Shericka said, every time I go to the line, I take, Yendi's words with me. And Yendi's words were pretty much along the line. You're going to do it though. I wonder if you know that. And, that for Shericka is very powerful, motivating, and she's very, very thankful in that context that, somebody was there to pour that into her. And she found that to be, very, very powerful to this day. All right. So, point here, sometimes our friends, they are pretty much there when we're up, when we're on our high. But as soon as we're down, you know, in the low, they're not there. And that is a wake-up call. Reality check, 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 check. And so it is important for us to consider that, right? Mark you, criticisms from friends, family members can be good, constructive ones. And once they're doing it with love, because again, as I said earlier, we all make mistakes, and mistakes should be learning opportunities, right? In terms of preparing us for the future so that we can be better and stronger. But sometimes we have some negative voices, some pessimistic people, and all that they see and can point out are flaws, flaws, flaws. You're just never good enough. You will never do enough, and you're just not good enough for them. And so we ought to know, when to sieve them out. Yes, man, sieve them out, because sometimes, what I'm talking about sieving. You just take the little strainer, a very fine one, because you don't want the coarse ones to pass through, the coarse friends, all right? And sometimes we have to sieve them out, sieve them out, sieve them out, and just throw away put them aside and try to move on, because we have friends, but friends for specific purpose or season. But we want a friend who is going to be there, through it all. All right, someone that you can count on, that song is coming to mind, but I can't sing, people, and I'm tempted to try it, but I know I can't sing. Count on me through thick or thin, a friendship that will never end. Who can sing that one for me? When you are weak, I will be strong, helping you to carry on. Call on me, I will be there. Don't be afraid. Please remember when I say, I think it's count on. You can count on me. I don't know. I don't really know it, but that's it. All right. So for sure, I guess that was kind of like a little power talk there, but it's voices in education, and we are learning from, topics and different people, different voices. And I just want to say to you to just, give yourself space and grace. And, it may not be okay every day, but once there is life, there is hope. And I trust that you'll continue to have a very good day, and that you'll have a blessed week ahead of you. And for, students, if you're here tuning, going back to school this week, all the very best. And to all the community members here, thank you so much for coming over. Thank you so much for all your support, for calling in, for sharing in the chat, for liking the video, for sharing, for subscribing. I really appreciate your support, and let us continue to share and subscribe and, expand together. All right. Please remember to turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. All right. I'm not sure if I'll be able to sign out how I normally do, because again, as I said, my screen is frozen, but I am happy. While that is happening there, I am happy that I'm still able to communicate, and you're still able to hear me. So in everything, give thanks. That's it. That's it. All right. Take care, everyone. Blessings and love. And I will see you in the next live. All right. So again, please like this video before you leave, and share this one, please. Share this one. Somebody might just need to hear this. Even tell them, listen to the last part or in the middle, somebody might just need to hear this one. So don't be afraid to share, and don't be afraid to comment even after the video ends and you feel like you have something that you want to say. You can do that. You can do that. And also, if you have, topics that you would like us to share on, we can perhaps consider those. So again, once it's something that is going to be respectful, that is totally okay, nothing, discriminatory, derogatory, and, we want to just keep it safe and, respectful for everyone. All right. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Blessings and love, everyone. Take care.